Good morning and welcome to my coffee station. Today I'll be walking you through how I make my coffee in the morning. I always start by gathering my things like my scale, my phone with my espresso already loaded, and my coffee beans. We store our beans in these vacuum sealed containers, which prevents them from oxidizing too quickly. I'm going to be making a double shot, so I'll be measuring out 2 scoops, which is going to be 18 grams of coffee. A milligram scale like this is really handy to help you get a precise measurement of the dose. Now I'm just going to pump out the air out of the container, which is actually a really satisfying thing to do. Okay, now it's time to grind the beans. Here you'll see me spritz them with a bit of water, which helps reduce the static. Here I am giving them a bit of a shake to distribute the water. And now I'm pouring them into my grinder. The grinder that we have here is a Varia S3. It's a really good grinder when you want to do single dose. Now I'm just giving my coffee dose cup a quick wipe. While the beans are grinding, I'll just set up my station. So I'll grab a cup from the top of the coffee machine, and these are nice and toasty because our coffee machine actually heats them up. Having a warm coffee mug helps the coffee retain its aromas once it goes in there. I'll also add all the details into the My Espresso app, so the grams of coffee that I used, the dose, and the temperature of the machine. Here I'm just making sure that all the beans have gone through the grinder, so I'm just going to stick my fingers in there. I'll pump the bellows a bit just to get any remaining grinds out of the machine. And now I'll pour my beans into the portafilter. One of my favorite things to use is this little dust pump, which blows away all the extra coffee grounds that might have escaped. And I just love it because it's so satisfying to use. Now I'm needling my coffee grounds, and this just helps break up any of the clumps that might be in there. This ensures the water flows through nice and smoothly when you're extracting. I like to swirl the dosing ring here because it pushes all the coffee grounds in the middle, so when I use the distributor, nothing spills. So just spin this around and make it nice and even, and now I'll tamp it down. Okay, this looks pretty good, so I'm just going to go ahead and put it into the machine. You can add a puck screen here, but I'm lazy this morning and I'm not going to do that. Now I'm adding just the final details into my espresso, so the grind level, the machine that I'm using, the basket I'm using, and now we're ready to extract. I start the app when I start the machine. You can see in the mirror that it's coming out pretty nicely. I'm going to do a bit of a shorter extraction today because I find that these beans are a bit sensitive. And the last thing we want is over-extracted coffee, which is horribly bitter. Now I add the yield. So I have a look at the scale and it tells me how much came out. Next I'll try the espresso itself, so I'll give it a good swirl. Now I'll take a sip. I like this one, so I'm just going to go ahead and give it a score in my espresso and write what I think about it. Sometimes you just forget what the different variables were for a good espresso, so my espresso is pretty handy to have all your recipes in one place to refer back to later. Now it's time for the cleanup, so I'll just bang out the puck. I'll try and be efficient and I'll rinse the group head at the same time as the portafilter. At this point we give everything a good wipe so that it's not only ready for the next person, but we keep the machine nice and clean. I always always forget the shower screen, but today I didn't. Okay, this espresso needs some milk. I'm just gonna eyeball it here. I typically go to just below the lip of the spout. Okay, now for the fun part, we're going to froth the milk. I prime the machine for a second before I put the steam wand in the jug. I find it helps get the pressure nice and strong. Now to froth your milk, what I'm looking for here is just to get a slight hissing sound and enough air into the milk for maybe 5 or 6 seconds. I want to see a vortex, so I want to see the milk spinning really fast. Once I've put in enough air, I'll submerge the steam wand completely. And what I'm doing here is I'm watching the sticker on the side of the jug, which will tell me the temperature. So you might not see in this video, but it'll light up depending on the temperature of the milk. I'm waiting for it to reach 65 degrees, which is the 3rd dot. Now it's reached 65 degrees, I'll turn off the steam wand. Straight away I'll just try and clean it, so I'll just get rid of any of the milk that's left behind. This is the moment of truth, so I need to make sure that the milk is nice. I give it a good swirl just to distribute all the bubbles and make sure that it's as smooth and creamy as possible. I swirl the espresso as well. I think of this as preparing the canvas. Now I'm still learning, so I'm not fantastic, but you are meant to distribute the milk nice and evenly around first, and then start pouring in with a wiggle, and then that should come up as you tilt the cup, and then you can finish with a flourish. Okay, so the shape came out okay, and I didn't spill, so I'm pretty happy with this one. And that's it. That's how I make my coffee in the morning. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are interested in my espresso, you can download it from the App Store and the Play Store today. And if you're interested in coffee related content, then please like and subscribe to our channels.